If you want to ask any general questions related to the NEET Physics exam, select NEET Physics from the chapters list above. Question: list all the topics in details. Answer: certainly. Here is a detailed list of the topics covered in the NEET Physics syllabus. Unit 01, Physics and Measurement, Units of Measurements, System of Units, SI Units, Fundamental and Derived Units, Least Count, Significant Figures, Errors in Measurements, Dimensions of Physical Quantities, Dimensional Analysis and its Applications. Unit 02, Kinematics, Frame of Reference, Motion in a Straight Line, Position Time Graph, Speed and Velocity, Uniform and Non-Uniform Motion, Average Speed and Instantaneous Velocity, Uniformly Accelerated Motion, Velocity Time, Position Time Graphs, Relations for Uniformly Accelerated Motion, Scalars and Vectors, Vector Addition and Subtraction, Scalar and Vector Products, Unit Vector, Resolution of a Vector, Relative Velocity, Motion in a Plane, Projectile Motion, Uniform Circular Motion. Unit 03, Laws of Motion, Force and Inertia, Newton's first law of motion, momentum, Newton's second law of motion, impulse, Newton's third law of motion, law of conservation of linear momentum and its applications, equilibrium of concurrent forces, static and kinetic friction, laws of friction, rolling friction, dynamics of uniform circular motion, centripetal force and applications. Unit 04, Work, Energy, and Power, work done by constant and variable forces, kinetic and potential energies, work energy theorem, power, potential energy of spring, conservation of mechanical energy, conservative and non-conservative forces, motion in a vertical circle, elastic and inelastic collisions in 1 and 2 dimensions. Unit 05, Rotational Motion, Center of Mass of a two-particle system, Center of Mass of a rigid body, Basic Concepts of Rotational Motion, Moment of a Force, Torque, Angular Momentum, Conservation of Angular Momentum and Applications, Moment of Inertia, Radius of Gyration, Values of Moments of Inertia for Simple Geometrical Objects, Parallel and Perpendicular Axis Theorems and their Applications, Equilibrium of Rigid Bodies, Rigid Body Rotation and Equations of Rotational Motion, Comparison of Linear and Rotational Motions. Unit 06, Gravitation, Universal Law of Gravitation, Acceleration due to gravity and its variation with altitude and depth, Kepler's laws of planetary motion, Gravitational potential energy and gravitational potential, escape velocity, motion of a satellite, orbital velocity, time period, and energy of satellites. Unit 07, Properties of Solids and Liquids, Elastic Behavior and Stress-Strain Relationship, Hooke's Law, Young's Modulus, Bulk Modulus, Modulus of Rigidity, Pressure due to a fluid column, Pascal's Law and Applications, Effect of Gravity on Fluid Pressure, Viscosity, Stokes' Law, Terminal Velocity, Streamline and Turbulent Flow, Critical Velocity, Bernoulli's Principle and Applications, Surface Energy and Surface Tension, Angle of Contact, Excess Pressure across a curved surface, Applications of Surface Tension, Drops, Bubbles, Capillary Rise, Heat, Temperature, Thermal expansion, specific heat capacity, calorimetry, change of state, latent heat, heat transfer, conduction, convection, and radiation. Unit 08, Thermodynamics, Thermal Equilibrium, Zeroth Law of Thermodynamics, Concept of Temperature, Heat, Work, and Internal Energy, First Law of Thermodynamics, Isothermal and Adiabatic Processes, Second Law of Thermodynamics, Reversible and Irreversible Processes. Unit 09, Kinetic Theory of Gases, Equation of State of a Perfect Gas, Work done on compressing a gas, Kinetic Theory Assumptions, Concept of Pressure, Kinetic Interpretation of Temperature, RMS Speed of Gas Molecules, Degrees of Freedom, Law of Equipartition of Energy and Applications to Specific Heat Capacities of Gases, Mean Free Path, Avogadro's Number. Unit 10, Oscillation and Waves, Oscillations and Periodic Motion, Time Period, Frequency, Displacement as a Function of Time, Periodic Functions, Simple Harmonic Motion, SHM, and its Equations, Phase, Oscillations of a Spring, Restoring Force and Force Constant, Energy in SHM, Kinetic and Potential Energies, Simple Pendulum, Derivation of Time Period Expression, Wave Motion, Longitudinal and Transverse Waves, Speed of Traveling Wave, Displacement Relation for a Progressive Wave, Principle of Superposition of Waves, Reflection of Waves, Standing Waves in Strings and Organ Pipes, Fundamental Mode and Harmonics, Beats. Unit 11, Electrostatics, Electric Charges and Conservation of Charge, Coulomb's Law, Forces between point charges, Forces between multiple charges, Superposition Principle and Continuous Charge Distribution, Electric Field due to a point charge, Electric Field Lines, Electric Dipole, Electric Field due to a dipole, Torque on a dipole in a uniform electric field, Electric Flux, Gauss's Law and Applications to find field due to, Infinitely long uniformly charged wire, Infinite plane sheet, thin spherical shell, Electric Potential Calculation for point charge, Electric Dipole, system of charges, equipotential surfaces, electrical potential energy of a system of charges, conductors, insulators, dielectrics, and electric polarization, capacitors and capacitances, combination of capacitors in series and parallel, capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with / without dielectric, energy stored in a capacitor. Unit 12, Current, Electricity, Electric current, Drift velocity, Mobility, Ohm's law and electrical resistance, PI characteristics of ohmic and non-ohmic conductors, electrical energy and power, electrical resistivity and conductivity, series and parallel combinations of resistors, temperature dependence of resistance, internal resistance, potential difference, and info of a cell, combination of cells in series and parallel, Kirchhoff's laws and applications, Wheatstone bridge, meter bridge. Unit 13, Magnetic effects of current and magnetism, Biot-Savart law and applications to circular loops, Ampere's law and applications to straight wire and solenoid, force on moving charge in uniform fields, force on current carrying conductor in a uniform magnetic field, force between parallel currents, definition of ampere, torque on a current loop in a uniform magnetic field, moving coil galvanometer, sensitivity, ammeter and voltmeter conversion, current loop as a magnetic dipole, bar magnet as equivalent solenoid, magnetic field lines, magnetic field due to a dipole, torque on magnetic dipole in uniform magnetic field, para, dia, and ferromagnetic substances, temperature effect on magnetic properties. Unit 14, Electromagnetic induction and alternating currents, electromagnetic induction, Faraday's law, induced infant current, Lenz's law, currents, self and mutual inductance, alternating currents, peak and RMS values, reactance and impedance, LCR series circuits, resonance, power in AC circuits, wattless current, AC generator, transformer. Unit 15, Electromagnetic waves, displacement current, electromagnetic waves, characteristics, transverse nature, electromagnetic spectrum, radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, applications of electromagnetic waves. Unit 16, Optics, reflection of light, spherical mirrors, mirror formula, refraction at plane and spherical surfaces, thin lens formula, lens maker's formula, total internal reflection and applications, magnification, power of a lens, combination of thin lenses in contact, refraction through a prism, microscope and astronomical telescope, wave optics, wavefront and Huygens principle, laws of reflection and refraction via Huygens principle, interference, Young's double slit experiment, diffraction, single slit, central maximum, polarization, plane polarized light, Brewster's law, applications. Unit 17, Dual nature of matter and radiation, dual nature of radiation, photoelectric effect, Hertz and Lennard's observations, Einstein's photoelectric equation, particle nature of light, matter waves, wave nature of particles, de Broglie relation. Unit 18, Atoms and nuclei, alpha particle scattering experiment, Rutherford's model of atom, Bohr model and hydrogen spectrum, composition and size of nucleus, atomic masses, mass-energy relation, mass defect, finding energy per nucleon and its variation, nuclear fission and fusion. Unit 19, Electronic devices, semiconductors, semiconductor diode, IV characteristics in forward and reverse bias, diode as a rectifier, IV characteristics of LED, photodiode, solar cell, Zener diode as a voltage regulator, logic gates, or, and, not, none, nor. Unit 20, Experimental skills, vernier calipers, measurement of internal/external diameter and depth, screw gauge, thickness/diameter measures, simple pendulum, energy dissipation graphing, meter scale, mass measurement via moments, Young's modulus of metallic wire, surface tension measurement by capillary rise, viscosity coefficient by a terminal velocity, speed of sound in air using a resonance tube, specific heat capacity measurement, resistivity of wire using a meter bridge, resistance using Ohm's law, galvanometer resistance via half deflection, focal length of mirrors and lens via parallax method, angle of deviation versus angle of incidence for a prism, refractive index using a traveling microscope, characteristic curves of diodes and Zener diodes. This comprehensive breakdown encompasses the entire NEET Physics syllabus, ensuring you have a clear understanding of each topic. If you need guidance on study strategies or prioritization of topics, please feel free to ask.